What is good, team? So I really wanted to showcase a bit of value today because I myself am going out for an off-plan meal, and I really wanted to show what I do and how I go about it to ensure that I stay on track with my fat loss goals. Now, if you haven't already, please go and watch the How to Navigate Weekends video because I've applied their principles this week. And as well, please go and watch the video what showcases how to track calories when they're not on the menu, because both of them I've applied within this video, but I really wanted to showcase a practical example of how I've set my day up so I can ensure success. Now, first and foremost, it is 10 AM now. Obviously, you probably can't see from my watch, but I've already squared off the best part of 6,000 steps. So I went out this morning and did a big ass walk just to make sure that my output was nice and high, and then I'll probably go out for another walk around about lunchtime, about 1 o'clock-ish, just prior to the meal, to try and get that up to 10k to make sure that I've burned a substantial amount of calories. And you can't see it in this shot, but I've got a spin bike to the right of us, so I'm going to make sure that I hop on there for as long as I can be bothered to do, to be quite honest, but more specifically it'll be around about the 30-minute mark. If I can be bothered to do a little bit more, I will. The reason for this is to push myself into a deeper deficit. Now, even though it is, like I said, the best part of 10 o'clock, I've had no food yet. So I've fasted since I've woke up. But what I am going to break my fast with is just pretty much pure protein sources. Now, it's not 100% pure because you kind of get zero carb, zero fat protein sources, apart from like egg whites and stuff like that. But I'm having a protein yogurt and a protein bar. These together is literally the best part of 350 or so calories, 363 calories to be exact, but obviously it'll give us a whopping sort of 45 to 47 grams of protein. So that's what I'm going to have prior to going out. I'm going out a little bit earlier in the day today, so I'm going to go out for my meal around about, I think it's 2:30, 3 o'clock when the meal's booked, so I'm not really going to have another meal after that, okay? But when I get back later on in the night, I will be having a meal because naturally I probably will be a little bit hungry. And to ensure that I stay within the calories, what I'll be doing is just having literally just chicken by itself. So there's 300 grams of chicken here. Obviously there'll be a substantial amount of protein in there, about 90 grams to 100 grams. And I'll be having this with some salad or some like sauteed vegetables of some sort. That way, carbs and fats are to an absolute minimum, but the protein is sky high. And across these three, you know, that's probably the best part of 150, 160 grams of protein. And then I'll get the rest of the protein more than likely within my meal. Because for the meal, it is an Asian meal that I'm having. And to make sure that I stay on track best I can with that, I've wrote everything down, what I'm going to input into this kind of, obviously, book here. But I've used the restaurant cheat sheet for most of it. Now, not everything was on the restaurant cheat sheet, so what I've had to do is use a little bit of intuition, go on different websites and find them, because I'm going to have some chicken gyozas, I'm going to have a chicken pad thai, and I'm also going to have a quarter of a duck pancakes. So what I've done is I've used the cheat sheet for the pad thai and the gyoza, and I'll show you on my phone how I'm going to input it now. Obviously there's already an example on the restaurant cheat sheet, so if you watch that you don't have to rewatch this, but I'll do it for this video purposes. So essentially, I'll go into breakfast here, I'll go into my foods, I'll go into creative food, I'll look across and I'm going to see it right. I'm going to have a portion of gyozas, which is, if I can spell it right, I think that's right, gyoza, chicken gyoza, serving size, I'll just put one portion, servings per container, 1. Then it'll bring it to the next page, and then on this next page you can pop in the calories. So 207 calories, total fat 7.86, very exact. Carbs 24.9, and then proteins 8.9, wherever that is, 8.69. Now that is per portion, so what I would then do is I would just times that by 2. That's no problem, it's in there, and then I would just go down this list and add them all in. Obviously feel free if you just want to fast forward this bit so you're not watching every single bit, but I'll put it in just for the point of the video. So my foods, I'm going to add in my pad thai, brand name, I'm just going to say off plan, pad thai, 1 serving, 1. Put in the calories, 789. Total fat, very fatty dish this, 33.37. Put in the carbs, which is 86.61. Put in the protein, which is 34.45. And as you can see, just from adding them in, I've literally hit my protein intake for the day. With these, what I've got to the right of us, and obviously literally just them foods there, that's without the duck. And then that's everything for that. So then the pad thai is now locked and loaded, and then I'll put the duck pancakes in as well. Now for these, I just literally went online in Tesco's and found their duck pancake packet with hoisin sauce, and I literally just have half the full set. Like, there's 4 servings in it, but I just had 2 servings worth, so I had the equivalent of a quarter of a duck, what I'm going to have when I'm there. Probably is a little bit overestimating the calories, but I would always overestimate instead of underestimating, because obviously they'll fry stuff in oils and stuff what you wouldn't have in the house. So then I'll create the final thing. So Tesco's duck pancakes. I'll just put half duck, 1, and then I'll do the same again, just repeat the process. 524 calories, total fat 19, total carbohydrates 49.6, last but not least protons is 37.8, and I'll tick that off, no thanks. And then they're all in there already, so you can already see I've got that in, and while I'm done this video I'll input all my foods. So I'll put me chicken, which I've already tracked before because it's chicken, so the chicken's in there. I'll put in my yogurt, obviously I've already tracked the yogurt before, so I don't need to manually input it. And then I'll put the protein bar in, because I've already had that before as well. And then as you can see, obviously I'm over my calorie target at the minute, but I followed the principles where I've banked calories during the week to add them on. So technically I'm allowed 3,000 calories to day in anyways, and I'll be well within that. So quite comfortably be able to have an off-plan meal and still stay on track. But I only like to do this once per week, and I don't like to do this spontaneously. And another thing what I would always suggest is when we're on a fat loss diet, photo shoot prep, like, you've got to make a few sacrifices. So if it's a case of you wanting to have a few alcoholic drinks, I would always say if you're going to have alcohol, have alcohol. If you're going to have an off-plan meal, have an off-plan meal. Try and not intertwine them both together, you know, because that is probably just a recipe of disaster. If you end up smashing loads of food, you probably put yourself in a surplus for the week. But doing something like this, it's very, very easy to stay on track, have a good time with your friends, family, partner, whatever it may be, and still get absolutely peeled, mate, in the early stages of a photo shoot prep or a fat loss program. Near the back end, it's a lot easier to just kind of say no to this side of things to get the last layers of fat off. But I just really wanted to showcase you this video to show exactly how I navigate it on a day where I actually am, and not just talk through the theory of it.